In this video, I'm going to be ranking all of the different roles in Break-In 2. Let's start with number 6, the medic. I decided to put the medic in 6th place for one main reason. It'd be much higher if for one main problem, and that is that you cannot heal yourself using the med kit, and which makes it, in my opinion, a lot worse to try and beat the game with, as you will only be support for your teammates and start with pretty much no extra bonuses. But at least your teammates won't like you, I guess. It's kind of the only upside. It's beneficial for your teammates and only really good when you're playing with other friends. If you're playing by yourself, like I normally do, then I literally never choose this. This is my first time using this kit. Number 5 probably has to be the protector, because the protector is just the only starting advantage is a bat, and in my opinion that isn't incredibly helpful for later on in the game. It is very helpful for earning money early on, but other than that, it's not very useful and is not evidently helpful at the boss fight of the game and later parts, as you as when you and your team actually struggle, you'll be kind of similar gear to them, except maybe slightly worse, because although you don't have to spend money on weapons, you train slower, and well, you don't train slower, but you earn money faster. But all the other classes all just have unique benefits that are really beneficial to playing the game. So that is just the main reason why it's so low. Like, everyone will have the same if not better gear than you by the time you will actually really be needed. It is helpful on the first few waves, and a good way for earning money. But overall, I just don't find it that I don't find myself using this a lot, as earning money is pretty easy with some of the other kits as well. And also it is actually helpful though if the main weapon is a bat. Then I would actually probably recommend it over some of the other kits, because some of these the number 6 was pretty easy to choose, but all the other ones are pretty hard to choose, as they're all can be equally compared to each other, except for, of course, the nerd and the hacker. And at number 4, we have the hyper. I put the hyper at number 4 because it's only really that useful during the final stages of the game, but the final stages of the game are more harder and more important than earlier parts, which is why I put it above protector. And yeah, that's pretty much why I did that. The extra speed, the 15 charges of speed, is all very helpful. Just yeah, they're all very helpful. as you can see here, it gives the same speed bonus as a Coca-Cola, which would make it pretty useful if you're playing more to just to run away than attacking enemies. So that's why I didn't put this higher on the leaderboard than I should have, or than it would be, because you know, I can just immediately dart over here. Of course you do get an early lead. I mean, I'm already in the building before anyone else. It also does give you +10 everything, but I just find that the other three are a lot more useful. At number 3, I have the Sporty. I use the Sporty a lot in most of my videos. This is because it's the best free-to-play kit, and is overall the most useful. It's not the most useful, but it's incredibly helpful with training strength and speed, for fighting, for running away from bosses, fighting enemies, earning money. It's very helpful for all that, instead of just the attacker only being good at fighting enemies, and the hyper only being good at running away from enemies. This gets kind of more of a getting closer to the jack of all trades, with the gym power-up giving you double what you normally have for 30 seconds, and you have 5 charges, which is a total of 2.5 minutes, making this one pretty helpful, actually, very useful. And I usually use it pretty often because you can get to level 5 speed very quickly, and you can get to level 5 strength very quickly. But yeah, I mean, I wish I had more charges, but it honestly may have even gone above nerd, if not for the fact that after wave 1, there's a chance that you just get power-ups. Like, if not for that, then it would more than likely be above nerd. So yeah, here's lifting weights normally. Pretty, not incredibly fast. With Prime Energy Drink, you do them at just double speed. Very helpful, lasts 30 seconds. And overall, very useful kit to try and get really high strength or really high speed very fast. The only problem is you can't get really high strength and really high speed, and you can't necessarily work out during waves. And you can only, from testing, you can only really get strength 4 if you use all the charges consecutively, and speed, I think, yeah, speed 4.5 if you use all the charges, which means it's not very helpful for getting a lot of speed and strength. It's only one or the other, which is why it's not higher on this list. For number 2 on this list, I have the Nerd. The thing about the Nerd, he is very useful, as he is a bit more, he can level up both abilities to level 4 faster than the gym guy can, because you can use them in between waves, and it's also just really cool looking. And you know what, I kind of like it. It's a pretty interesting kit idea, and it does level up, and overall level up faster. Not for if you're doing one specific one, I would recommend just regular working out, but if you're trying to get both really high, then the book is very helpful, as you get those math equations once in a while. So if you passed 2nd grade, this kit should be more helpful than the gym kit for you. And it is overall more helpful with completing the game. I mean, if you only have high strength or only have high speed during the boss fight, you're gonna have some problems with dealing with some of the attacks, like trying to deal with when the Scary Larry head throws a bunch of all the band at you. I will sometimes die because I just don't have high enough strength to deal with these guys, and I'll get overwhelmed by them. But with this one, you don't have to worry about that anymore, since you're easily able to get level 5 strength and speed with it, and you know, overall pretty easy. You don't even have to do anything. Like on the other ones, you have to run on the treadmills, you have to click on the weights. You could just sit here. I'm not hitting any buttons on my keyboard. Any at all. And it's still going up. And I just find it helpful, like overall. I mean, it is a bit uneven, as you can see right here. But other than that, it's pretty helpful. I mean, when I'm doing my challenge videos, I usually use Sporty, because it's just better. I mean, it's better because usually in the challenge videos, I'll come up with a great idea. Like on the no damage video, there's no point in upgrading strength because there's no strength where you can one-tap enemies, making it pretty useless. So so leveling up speed is better, which is where I'll use a kit that hones in more on a 1 rather than the other. I would say the main perk, besides being able to train both at the same time, is being able to just go AFK. Go do something else while you can just sit here and level up speed at the same pace you would normally. I mean, it's just great. It's useful as well. And yeah, see, just a question. This question is obviously 9. We get a big boost for strength that bumps us up to level 2. And I don't really have to, and I can use it in between waves. If you try and use the gym in between waves, then you're gonna take like half your health and damage, which is not good because regenerating health costs the currency that you earn by killing the guys over there. And finally, for our number 1 spot, you guessed it, it's the hacker. This is easily the best kit. It's a jack of all trades. It's helpful early game, mid game, late game. It gives pretty much all the perks of every other class, just to a smaller extent. Like, it gives 3 charges of power-up gems for the Sporty, 6 power-ups of speed, and you also get a free, like, 160 money at the start of the game. Like, this is just so useful. Like, this is useful at all points in it. Like, let's see what it also has these. You could make your head ginormous. You could give yourself fire particles. And you could just kind of do any size normal. But I can also make my size thick. This is you can turn yourself like slightly translucent. You know, it's very fun. And then you also have the admin, 6 power charges of speed, 3 gym power ups. There's a heal all button. Like, it's just insane. Like, at any point in the game, you can just click that, everyone gets full HP. Easily the most useful kit in the entire game. And also, if you haven't noticed yet, the particles, when you're a ghost, hold on. It's just, the particles are just great as well. Sparkles are great, smoke. Pretty cool. They help exaggerate effects. Like if you train a lot of speed, then you could just turn on the smoke particle effects to make it look like you're going faster than you are. And you can use the stick to emphasize your... This is very good for making YouTube videos. Stick man. And overall, pretty fun. And it also tells you these. You don't even have to go through the process of pulling all those pages off. That's where... Yeah, this is just fun. It's great. Like, literally, look at this. Watch this. Everything. This is literally the jack of all trades. Best class in the game. Easily my favorite as well. Literally, look at this. You can levitate. Oh, they open the door. Money gives you a total of 160 cash. Just immediately, you pretty much spawn with 160 cash. 3 gym power-ups that all last for 30 seconds. It's just great. And although they do have cooldowns, the cooldowns are literally, for gym power-ups, it's 5 seconds off of its actual effect, and for speed, it's, I think, like 2. Let's check the... No, the second you run out of speed, you can pretty much just use it again. Gym power-up lasts... Yeah, overall, this is easily the best one. And yeah, that's the end of this video. Those are just my personal kits that I would recommend to you. If you're new player to the game, I'd probably recommend the Sporty most of the time. But if you have the Nerd or the Hacker, then I would recommend those as well, as they're just really helpful. They make the game a lot easier to beat. Like, imagine for the Nerd, imagine just being able to sit in this corner right here holding out a book, and then just be like superior to everyone else by the time the final boss fight comes, because you got 5 strength and 5 speed. And most of these also kind of help with a lot of the badges as well. Like, the Nerd helps a lot with so speedy and so strong. I don't know exactly what they're called, but the level 5 speed and level 5 strong is so much easier to get using Nerd. Overall, would recommend.